Hello and welcome. We are solving PYQs of equation and arithmetical reasoning, and our theme was abstract cases of equation, or we can call it the pure arithmetical reasoning. Why? Because in this we integrate the concepts of lot of chapters together. So let's try this next problem. It says, how many different sums can be formed with the denomination 50 rupees, rupee 100, rupee 200, rupee 500, or rupee 2000, taking at least 3 denomination at a time? So how many denominations we are having? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 denominations. So as per this question, out of 5 we can choose any 3, or out of 5 we can choose any 4, or out of 5 we can choose any 5, because examiner is saying we have to use at least 3 denominations. So it means we can use 3 denomination and more than 3. Okay, so in case of choosing or in case of selecting things, we use the principle of combination from the fundas of permutation and combination. Now how do we solve this 5C3? 5C3 is 5 factorial upon 5 minus 3 factorial into 3 factorial. And what do we mean by factorial? 5 factorial means the product of first 5 consecutive natural numbers. Now, if you solve 5C3, it will comes out to be equal to 10. If you solve this 5C4, it will comes out to be equal to, just give me a second, 5. And if you solve 5C1, it will give you 1 only. So if you add them, 10 plus 5 plus 1, it is what? 16. So how many different sums we can create here? 16 different sums we can create here. Please make a note of it. Hurry up. Alright, I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. This next question says, just a second. Yes, it is. It says half of the villagers of a certain village have their own houses. Half of the villagers have their own houses, which means half means 50% of the villagers are having on houses. OH meaningly on houses. One fifth of the villagers, 1/5 meaningly 20% of the villagers are having, or they are what they are doing, they were cultivating paddy. So CP meaningly cultivating paddy. 1/3 of the villagers, 1/3 meaningly 33.33% of the villagers are what? They are literate. They are what? Literate. 4/5 of the villagers are under. 4/5, if you convert this fraction into a percentage, it comes out to be equal to 80%. 4/5 of the villagers are under the age of 25. These are what? Under the age of 25 years. So, which one of the following statement is certainly correct? Statement number 1. All the villagers who have their own houses are literate. This is wrong. Because how many people are having their own houses? 50%. It means the remaining 50% are not having any houses. So it might possible this 33.33% belongs to that remaining 50%, because 33.33% is less than 50%. Hence, this entire literate people can belongs to those remaining 50%. Hence, this cannot be true. Let's check out the second one. Some villagers under 25 years of the age are literate. Let's check it out. This has to be true here. Why? Now see, how many villagers are under the age of 25? 80%. What are the remaining number of villagers? 20%. Now I can see literate percentage. It is 33.33%. Out of it, if I subtract 20, we gonna still left out with some more value. That must belongs to this under the age of 25. Hence, this has to be true. Now, let's check out this. See, only half of the villagers who cultivate paddy are literate. So, how many people cultivate paddy? 20%. What is half of 20%? 10%. This statement C says only half of the villagers who cultivate paddy are literate. So this statement is saying only 10% people are literate. So this is wrong. 33.33% people are literate. Now this is wrong, and we already have proved one of the statement to be true here. So obviously answer has to be option B. Let's check out this option D. No villagers under 25 years of age have their own houses. See how many people are having their own houses? 50%. And how many people are literate? 80%. 80% is more than 50%. So definitely there has to be some literate people having their own houses. So this has to be wrong. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. It says a biology class at high school predicted that a local population of animal will double in size every 12 years. So in 12 years, population will get what? Population will get doubled. Okay, the population at the beginning of the year 2021 was estimated to be 50 animals. In 2021 beginning, population was what? 50. If P represent the population after n years, P represent the population after what? N years. Then which of the following equation represent the model of the class for the population? So right now, if population is 15, or in the beginning of 2021, if population is 50, then definitely after 12 years, the population should be double of 50, which is what? 100. So after 12 years, population must be what? 100. Now let's check out which of the given equation will justify this logic. So if we apply this logic to option D first. So P represent population, 50 into 2. Now value of n represent time here. So if we assume value of n to be 12, so it becomes 12 by 12. So as per this equation, if value of n is 12, my population becomes what? If we solve this, my population becomes what? 100. I know after 12 year population is 100, and as per this equation, if we insert n equal to 12 here, again population is 100. So this means option D is the right choice here. I hope guys this is clear to everyone. You can check out the remaining choices. Insert n equal to 12 here. If you are inserting n equal to 12 here, this equation will not give you gonna give you any 100, any value near 100. Similarly, if you insert n equal to 12 here, again this equation will not produce a value of population which is near 100. Only one of the option is producing that 100, so that is why option D should be the right choice here. I hope guys this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. It says a boy play with a ball and he drops it from a height of 1.5 meter. A height of 1.5 meter is equals to 150 centimeter, because 1 meter is what? 100 centimeter. All right. Now next, every time the ball hits the ground, it bounces back to attain a height of 4/5 of the previous height. 4/5 meaningly 80% of the previous height. 80% is also equal to 80 by 100, and 80 by 100 is also equal to 0.8. Done? Now, the wall does not bounce further if the previous height is what? Less than 50 centimeter. So, the ball will not bounce if height is what? Less than 50 centimeter. What is the number of times the ball hits the ground before the ball stopped bouncing? Okay, so let's write down what will be the height covered by the ball when it gonna hit the ground for the first time. So ball has been dropped from the height of 150. So before hitting the ground for the first time, it will travel a distance of what? 150 centimeter. Since 150 centimeter is more than 50 centimeter, the ball will bounce back. Now, before the second, now before hitting the second ground, before hitting the ground for the second time, what will be the height covered by a ball? So height covered by a ball gonna be 150 into 80%, because it is given here. 150 into 80%, which comes out to be equal to 120 centimeter. So before hitting the ground for the second time, the ball gonna have cover how much of the distance? 120 centimeter. Now 120 centimeter is more than 50 centimeter. That is why the ball will bounce back. Now, what will be the distance covered by the ball before hitting the ground for the third time? So it gonna be 120 into what? 80%, which comes out to be equal to 96 centimeter. So before hitting the ground for the third time, distance traveled by the ball is 96, which is more than 50. So definitely on the third attempt, it will bounce, and then it gonna hit the ground and it will bounce back. Okay. So now let's calculate what will be the distance traveled by the ball before hitting the ground for the fourth time. It's gonna be 96 into 80%, which is equals to 96 into 0.8. Okay, 96 into 0.8, because 80% is what? 0.8. So if we multiply it, 8 6 are 48, 4 is carry, 8 9 are 72, 72 plus 4 is 76. So before hitting the ground for the fourth time, the distance covered by the ball is 76.8, and which is more than 50. So definitely it will bounce back. Now let's talk about the fifth strike. So before hitting the ground for the fifth time, the distance traveled by the ball gonna be 76.8 into 4/5, which is 80%, which is 0.8. So if you multiply this, it gonna gives you what? 61.44 centimeter. 61.44 centimeter is greater than 50 centimeters. Obviously, after hitting the ground for the fifth time, the ball will bounce back. Now let's talk about what will be the distance covered by the ball before hitting the ground for the sixth time. So it will be 61.44 into 4/5, which is what? 0.8. And if you solve this, 8 4s are 32, 8 4s are 32, and 3 35 point a 4 3 is carry, 1 is here, and 8 6 are 48, and so it comes out to be equal to, just give me a second, 48, it comes out to be equal to 49 something. 49 something is what? Less than 50%. So it means after hitting, like on the sixth striking, it will not bounce back, because this distance is what? Less than 50%, 50 centimeter. Now my question is, what is the number of times the ball hits the ground before the ball stops bouncing? So in the sixth attempt, ball has stopped bouncing. So before the sixth attempt, how many times the ball has hit the ground? It is 5 times. Hence answer is option B. I hope guys this is clear to everybody. This is it from me for this video. Thank you so much.